This video is brought to you by Burns & McDonnell. Burns & McDonnell, ranked among Engineering News Record's top design firms, provides engineering, architecture, construction, environmental, and consulting services to clients throughout North America and abroad. Visit www.burnsmcd.com or contact us to learn more.
Welcome to the Dallas Regional Mobility Coalition, commonly known as DRMC. I want to thank you for taking an interest in finding solutions for our transportation planning and funding challenges. I'm Linda Koop, Dallas City Council member and Vice Chair of the DRMC. As a member of the DRMC, you're joining an advocacy organization of cities, counties, and transportation agencies from a 5-county area. We cover Dallas, Denton, Collin, Rockwall, and Ellis counties. We have also recently opened our membership to private organizations, bringing knowledgeable leaders from the private sector to the table. This video will help you get up to speed on major transportation issues in the DFW area and will help you understand what our organization is and how you can get more involved. So joining me today are two terrific guys. We have Ryder Scott, who's the director of DRMC, and we have Mayor Rob Franke, who is the mayor of Cedar Hill, and also who is the chairman of our organization. Well, I'm going to open this up to Ryder. Ryder, why should we care about transportation?
Thank you, Linda. You know, a good starting point would be the fact that the American Society of Civil Engineers issued a report card this year about the quality of our roads and bridges. And you know what kind of grades they received? D's and C's. That's just not acceptable. It didn't happen overnight, but a failure to adequately invest in our nation's infrastructure has caused that deterioration. And in addition to that, North Texas is in an enviable position with its problem. Not only do we have to maintain our existing roads and bridges, highways and interstates, but we have people moving here that requires capacity gains. Every day, a couple of hundred new citizens move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Wow. And most of them come in their cars. So it causes us to have to increase the capacity of our roads. DFW is also a logistics hub for air, for freight, for rail, for trucking. The quality of our life and the success of our businesses depends on the movement of goods and services and people throughout the Metroplex. Traffic and congestion just doesn't cost you and Rob money and time. It costs us in terms of business productivity, air quality, the environment, and our quality of life. If we want DFW to continue to grow and be the economic engine that creates the jobs and the quality of life that we enjoy today, it's important that transportation become an issue for everyone. Next time you're stuck in traffic, think DRMC.
That's really true. Rob, can you tell us how DRMC gets involved and you know, just what DRMC would do to help this situation?
First of all, as an elected official, one of the things I've noticed is that people expect their elected officials to understand the issues and be knowledgeable about these things, be able to communicate them. I found that DRMC is a great place to get that knowledge. Everyone can identify the problem with transportation. We get stuck in traffic,
sure,
but very few are willing to take the time, the effort to really understand the issues and what the solutions are out there.
You know, and they're so complex. There's no doubt about that. Can either one of you kind of give us just a little synopsis of maybe what some of the solutions would be to our transportation problems?
Part of the solution to the transportation problems in the Metroplex involves a holistic approach. It's just not concrete highways. It's freight mobility. It's commuter rail. It's light rail. It's buses. It's ways to move around the Metroplex. It's improving the flow through at the DFW airport. It's Stemmons Corridor. It's North Dallas. It's South Dallas. It's the region. So as we look at these issues, building highways is an important issue, but it's just part of the solution for the Metroplex.
Mm-hmm. And Rob, do you have any solutions as well from being the chair?
Yeah, it's really a matter of limited resources focused on the right solutions. And part of what we do in DRMC is get the right people together to have a policy level discussion of where do we take limited resources, apply the combined influence of a number of elected officials in the business community to specific solutions that help the big picture.
Do you have any maybe examples in Cedar Hill of how that's happened for you?
Being a part of the solutions in Cedar Hill is understanding what the regional perspective is, helping the conversation to focus on what our priorities are and where the major issues are, where a number of cities come together. So for example, in the southern area of Dallas County, when the cities combine and say, this is our major problem, and we communicate that through DRMC and the other organizations, we help influence that, yes, this is a high priority and this is something as a region we need to help solve. I-35 being one of those examples, 183, 75 corridor, all these are priority areas that as a region we come together and focus on.
Those are good examples of what membership in DRMC can do not only for a city but also the region as a whole. So I think that's a really good example. Ryder, tell me, how can a member get involved if they want to?
First of all, learn about DRMC. DRMC is composed of the elected officials from the Dallas region. We have a crucible of people that are very informed about transportation and help make the decisions that move our transportation solutions forward. So learn about DRMC, become a member. Go to the website, www.dallasmobility.org, attend one of our meetings. Talk to one of your friends or neighbors and encourage them to participate. This is an opportunity for all citizens to learn about transportation, to talk to their elected officials, and in that crucible, shape solutions for our future transportation goals.
Those are good points. And how about as elected officials? There are some elected officials that may want to get involved and help their transportation move more quickly in their areas. How can they get involved, Rod?
Oh, it's a great organization for that. They can get involved in a few ways. First of all, becoming a member city, being the representative to from your city to DRMC. You sit at the table and you participate in the discussions. There's also leadership opportunities in DRMC with the Finance Committee, the membership, Legislative Committee,
right.
the number of committees that come together and form the Governance Committee that then set the agenda for future DRMC meetings.
How does that work its way up to regionally, like the Regional Transportation Council, which are 12 counties that are put together? How does DRMC interact with those kinds of organizations?
I'd categorize in three areas: information, access, and influence. First of all, good information. Through the members' website, you have access to members-only information. You also become part of our clipping. The press clippings are sent to you via email to where you get a consolidated look at what all the information is through the press clippings.
Right, those are very valuable.
Yeah, it's huge. Access. You have access to the key influential people from TxDOT, Texas Department of Transportation, DART, Dallas Area Rapid Transit, DCTA, NTTA. All these organizations are a part of DRMC and report. So there's the access. And finally, the influence. When you're participating in the conversation, you're having an influence on the direction we're going, and then is what is communicated back to RTC and the other organizations.
And even nationally as well.
That's right.
You know, when you're talking as an elected official to your delegation from Washington, D.C., you know, you're going to want to be knowledgeable about what the issues are as far as transportation in your area and how they can help you. So I think that's a very valuable thing too.
We get some great speakers.
And I think on that, you know, Ryder does a great job of giving us information on a national level and lining up speakers. So maybe, Ryder, you can talk to us just a little bit about the speakers that we have coming forth.
Sure. DRMC has a rich history, formed over 20 years ago by then Dallas County Judge Lee Jackson. It was to take a regional view, and DRMC really is the sum of its parts. We make a huge difference. Together we are a potent force, but separately individual projects will just languish in the back of a 30-year transportation plan. So DRMC has been able to bring the statewide decision makers to the forefront at their meetings. The chairman of the House Transportation Committee, Larry Phillips, advised us early on in the session. The chairman of the Senate Transportation Committee, which originated the omnibus bills that brought us the public-private partnerships this year, both came to visit with us before and after the session. Additionally, we'll have individuals like Dr. Tim Lomax from the Texas Transportation Institute to talk about the costs of congestion and the cost of doing nothing in the Metroplex. These are just a few of the individuals like Bill Meadows, the Texas Transportation Commissioner, who took time to come in, sit down, roll up his sleeves, and work with you and the chairman and the other elected officials around the room to shape answers, to drive policy, to seek solutions.
You know, and that's the only way to do it nowadays, you know, when you're trying to solve huge issues, whether it be transportation or water issues in your area, is to bring in leaders that have expertise in particular subjects and find out what those leaders are thinking and where their legislation may be going. Right. Rob, how about to you, how about the private entities that may join DRMC? What benefit do you think that they get from joining DRMC and listening to the conversation and being a part of that conversation every month?
Yeah, key to the private sector is being able to anticipate what the priorities are going to be, what the issues are going to be, what projects are going to be in the forefront. If you start understanding the way the decisions are made and the policies that are set and the priorities that are set as a region, you can start anticipating where the work is going to be and position yourself to be a significant player or competitor in being a part of that marketplace.
You know, and that is just invaluable, I'm sure, to businesses. I mean, that's really what they want to know when they come in and talk to their elected officials and their legislative delegations, either from the state or from Washington, is, you know, where can I anticipate there'll be growth in my industry? So that's very important. Well, you know, you guys have done a great job. You as the director, and Rob, of course, you as the leader of the elected officials at DRMC. Do you have any closing comments for us? We'll start with Ryder here.
We're in a time of fiscal constraint. It's about the economy, it's about budget, but yet we have to grow and prosper as a region. The task and challenge of DRMC is incredible at this time, but we work best when we have the citizens involved with us, people seeking solutions, getting the best ideas, what works. Our best days lie ahead of us, and I would encourage all of the people to join if they have a chance.
That's great. Great words of wisdom. How about you, Rob?
I'm so impressed with our region. We're the 4th largest metropolitan area in the United States. We are a powerhouse, but what makes us unique is 135 separate communities coming together to focus on what's best for this region. It's unique to this entire country, and it just shows a lot of enjoyment of being together and a lot of synergy from some fine people.
That is exactly right. Thank you both for joining us today. We appreciate all that you do for the region. And now here is more advice from some of our other members about how you can maximize your involvement.
My name is Grady Smithy. I'm in my 22nd year on the Duncanville City Council and my 21st year as a member of DRMC. I'm the last surviving member of the original group that put DRMC together in 1990. Judge Jackson called about 5 of us together from across the area and said, we really have a real challenge here. Our challenge is that the Houston area, all during the decade of the 80s, with 22% of the car registrations, got 35% of the money spent on transportation in the state. The Dallas-Fort Worth region, the Dallas area specifically, had 16% of the car registration and got 11% of the money. The Fort Worth area had 9% of the car registrations and only got 6% of the money. So we realized there was a real imbalance in state funds, and that's why we formed this organization. That's why we've always asked for farming and funding, and that's why we've been pretty successful over the years in getting that.
The value for us in the Dallas Regional Mobility Coalition is being united with our neighbors and understanding how we play a part in the bigger picture of what's happening in our transportation needs. My suggestion for new members is to show up. So many times we get involved with our toe in the water, but my real advice is to participate.
The primary thing that is the strength of this organization is its numbers. And if we as a group come together, whether it be to give our opinions to the legislature or to get the public aware of the things that we are doing, it is important that we do it in numbers.
There's only one way to get full value from an organization. That's to be a part of it, get in with it, understand the issues, do your homework, read the packet.
Come to the meetings. The meetings are valuable. We have great speakers. We have highly recognized leaders that are a part of the Dallas Regional Mobility Coalition, and there are countless opportunities to visit with the folks that are helping get things done.
Well, there's so much information out there, but one place that you can really get it, the DRMC has a website, and they basically take all that information, so you don't have to go here, you don't have to go there, and you can get all the agency reports, you can get the information from the committee meetings, you can get the information from that, so it's pretty much like a one-stop shop.
You can't put a price tag on knowing what's happening around you.
If you want to be successful dealing with transportation, I'm a small town councilman from a small city with, and I represent one district within that city. I would have never had the influence I had. I'd never be wearing this road hand pin if I hadn't jumped in with both feet.
I think you will find membership with DRMC rewarding. It's the premier legislative advocate for mobility solutions in the eastern part of the Metroplex. DRMC is also one of the very few such organizations that offers membership to both government entities and businesses. We encourage you to attend our meetings on the first Friday of every month and invite a guest. In the meantime, log on to www.dallasmobility.org and start browsing through the news, reports, and presentations to get the knowledge you need to be an advocate for transportation policy reform.